How we doing today, neighbors? This is Ian with eTrailer here, and today we're going to be taking a look at and then installing the Timbren Suspension Enhancement System Severe Service on our 2024 Toyota Tacoma. Now, the Tacoma is a very common truck, not only for us here at the shop, but also for you neighbors and a lot of the orders we're seeing come through, and the 24 is going to be no slouch in comparison there. And so if you're going to be towing, I would definitely suggest these severe service Timbrens. They're going to be the top end of the weight classes that we have for the Timbrens. If you're just going to be doing some off-road or maybe light towing, do look at the other two options that we've got on our website and use that fit guide to make sure you're selecting the correct ones. But if you are going to be towing with the maximum capacity of your Tacoma, I would highly suggest these. They are extremely durable. They are going to take out all of that extra slop that you have when you are towing that larger capacity and take out a lot of that travel when it comes to the axle. Now, in comparison to the factory bump stop that we have removed here, it is going to be a huge upgrade. Again, taking out all of that extra travel that the factory bump stops would have allowed for. Now, as I had mentioned, these are considered the severe service from Timbren, so they are going to be rated up to 7,000 pounds, so it's going to be the highest of the three. And here under the vehicle, we can take a look and see that has greatly reduced the amount of travel that we're going to have from the axle, giving us a better suspension ride with those super heavy loads. Now we're going to go ahead and hop into the install, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process of how to remove your factory bump stops and get these in place. We're going to retain that hardware that's coming off of those. This all can be done on the ground, and we're going to be doing it in the air just so we can show you on camera specifically what's going on as we put these into place. And if you happen to watch the video and think to yourself, I do not want to try to tackle this, please do check out our dealer locator on the website. We'd be happy to help you find a trained professional in your area that can help get these installed for you. But for all those DIYers, let's go ahead and hop into it and we'll get this taken care of. Now, to be able to get everything into place, we are going to use our hitch as our lift point. That way we don't have to have the axle actually hanging and worry about how we're going to support from the frame. So from the ground, if you're going to be doing that way, just get a jack underneath the hitch, get that lifted up a little bit, and then we can adjust that as need be while we're going along. Now, the procedure on each side is going to be exactly the same. We're going to be showing it here on the driver's side, but anything we do over here, you would repeat on that passenger side. Now, our factory bump stop here, we're going to be removing that, so we're going to have a total of 3 bolts we need to remove. One here at the front, one here at the rear, and then one on the outside of the frame. So go ahead and get all those taken loose, and that'll be a 12mm socket to remove those. Now, as we're taking this loose, make sure you do retain this hardware because we're going to use this to put the bracket for the Timbrens back up there. Now that we've got those bump stops off, we're going to go ahead and identify all of the brackets and hardware we're going to need. So they are marked with a left and right sticker, our left being our driver's side here. So to start, we're going to use this bracket, and there is a 2 set of bolts that we can pick from depending on what type of clearance we're looking for from the bottom of this down to our axle. So just depending on how you would prefer, whether you want more tension, in which case we are going to be using the spacer along with it and the longer bolt, or if we weren't going to have the same clearance there and that shorter clearance, we'd just use this bolt without the spacer. Otherwise, the hardware is the exact same for both of those. So we're going to take our little rubber stopper here, flip that over, and there's a large flat washer that we need to place down into that. And we'll want to make sure that's centered up with the hole down at the bottom. And of course, we can adjust this as need be as we're going along. We'll just kind of get it close for now. And then we can flip our bracket over, go ahead and place on our spacer, followed by that large rubber stopper there. The bolt is going to feed down through the entire assembly to include that washer in there, and if you need to, you can just kind of pull those apart and do each one at a time. And we'll hold that bolt in place, tip it over on its side here, and we're going to take the smaller flat washer, go ahead and get that over our bolt, followed by the nut, which is going to be a 17 millimeter, same with the head for both of the bolts. So we'll need two 17 millimeter sockets, one for the outside here and then one for the inside. Now we'll take those 17 millimeter sockets and tighten all that down. We're going to go pretty snug with this just until we feel real good resistance and there's no play left. Now if we were on the ground, you would put your jack underneath the hitch or part of the frame to be able to get enough clearance. We're just going to be using the hitch here. Since we are off the ground, I've got this transmission jack that we're going to use to create our distance in between the frame and the axle. Now we can lift the assembly where the original bump stop was using that factory hardware and those 12 millimeter bolts to get that all back into place. We're going to start with our bottom ones just to get it to where it will hang. So just start those by hand. And once we've got these two bottom ones started with a few threads, we can come up on the side of the frame rail here and start that last one. And we'll just bottom this one out that's on the side here by hand. That's going to get us pulled up against the frame on the side. And we'll come back through with that 12 millimeter socket for all three pieces of hardware and tighten those until they're snug. Now that we've got that driver side all secure, we can hop over to the passenger side, repeat the exact same process over there. And that was our look at and installation of the Timbren Suspension Enhancement System for the rear of your 2024 Toyota Tacoma. My name's Ian with eTrailer, and I appreciate you watching.